All right, good day. Welcome everybody to the stream of Cardconsciousness. Our show, myself, Mark Ford, and Greg Smith. We've been away for a couple of weeks, and our apologies on that. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing good, Mark. How you doing today, man?
All right, just give me one moment while I plug in my microphone, and we should be good to go. All right, now I'm back here. So a little bit of multitasking. I'm in a different room here today than I usually am. Shasta Ford's out getting ready for the Super Bowl, so she had to take
It's
a lot
yours
of
for
her stuff
Fox,
with
right?
her. She's like works for CMSI or something like that, one of the video companies, and then like basically just way to put it is when you go to a game and you see the trucks out in the parking lot or up by the arena, she works in the trucks and she does the editing and the film work, and I think she basically does like the replays and things like that.
She
So
gets
it's
to go to all the
easier.
games for free, though. It sounds like
Yes, and
that's great.
sometimes dad gets to go too, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, today our topic is going to be our favorite 80s baseball card sets. And I have my Iron Maiden shirt on. Yes, Mr. Ford, he rocks. So, back in the, well, obviously, if you've seen the show before, you saw the wall of guitars, and that's only one wall. There's about three more. So we're going to let Greg get started with his favorite set of the 80s, and we'll just bounce back and forth. So go ahead, Greg.
All right. So I've got some honorable mentions before I get started with the top five, and my first two honorable mentions are 81 Fleer and 81 Donruss. Um, Not the best quality, not the best pictures, filled with errors, but you have to give them props for even attempting to do it after 30 odd years of Topps being the only player in town. So, a lot of nostalgia there. I was 11 years old when those came out, and I remember when they hit, the news wasn't the same as it is now. We really didn't have any idea there was going to be more than Topps that year. And we saw them in the stores and we're like, oh, what's this? And the fever was high. And just for nostalgic reasons, more than anything, they're honorable mention for me. Next one, 84 Fleer, I think is a very underrated set. Some good rookies. We got Van Slyke here. Mattingly, Strawberry, the update set's amazing. So that one gets some love. Next, honorable mention, and this might spark some controversy, 89 Upper Deck. Uh, I the Griffey card obviously is great, but I don't love the set as a whole. It's a good set, and it's honorable mention just for what it did for the hobby, really. Basically taking it into a new quality level and things like that. I mean, kind of an under the radar set for me that I really liked was 87 Fleer. The blue,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's a great set. It's very visually striking, and I've always been fond of that set. So there's my honorable mention.
All right. I got an honorable mention.
Okay,
I do mine, and we'll bounce back to you with the ones that you really dig. My
sure.
honorable mention, I know you'll like this. It's really no different than an 87 Donruss, but I am a fan of the Leaf, 87 Leaf. These are the
Yes.
Canadian version, I believe, kind of like the OPC for Tops. It's the same card, other than it has Leaf. Here's a Ruben Sierra rookie, but I just really like it. Again, maybe just adding that leaf on there makes, but it's just say it's not one of my all-time favorites, but I think it's kind of cool. I do like that. So that was my one honorable mention. So back to you, Greg, on the ones that you really dig.
All right. Well, we'll start off with number five, and then I'll throw it over to you for your fifth.
All right.
My top five starts with 1987 Tops. 17 years old is kind of an odd time when you're a collector, and you're a true collector. 13, 14, it's different. When you're 17, you're kind of like, do I tell people that I still do this? Kind of. And 87 Tops was a big deal for me. The wood grain borders, just that's, I think, when we all started really realizing how big cards were really, and people just started jumping on the wagon. 85, 86, and back on down. It was kind of niche, and then 87 hit, and it was really that. The amount of rookies in the set, Bo Jackson. I mean, you had a bunch of rated rookies or future stars. Billy Joe Robideau, guys like that, Dave Magadan, guys that you thought at the time were going to be big deals that weren't. But you look back at the set now and you're just like, man, that was a great set. And I finally remember collecting it. So that's my my number 5 is 1987 Topps.
All right. That is a good one. Didn't make my top 5, but I do like it. The Bonds card's iconic in that, right? The 87 Bonds.
Oh yeah, the Bo Jackson.
Ruben Sierra's, and I love that 87 Ruben Sierra. I like Ruben Sierra too, so he's in there with my Andre Dawson fascination. Okay, I'm going to shock. I am going to completely shock. You didn't see this coming, Greg. I guarantee you. Because Greg's been really busy doing things. I've been, being Mr. Teacher and all that. So, we're just kind of on the fly here. But this one's going to say, oh my God, 89 Fleer. And yes, that's it. That's the one. That is the infamous F face word, Billy Ripken. So I love 89 Fleer because one reason, it's a smaller set, 660 cards. Another reason, it's all team separated. So you can put your sets together easily. I'm not a set collector. I'm not a set finisher. And it's funny because I have 2 complete sets. Well, actually 3 now. I got a hideous, that yellow is a 91 Fleer, unfortunately. Yeah. But 87 Topps, 89 Fleer, the only complete sets that I own. I put them together by myself, but it was really easy. But I just like them. I mean, that's it's all personal preference, and I love and from being the quarter king, 50-cent guy selling cards on vintage fire sales. Every single Craig Biggio rookie I put up for a quarter sells. So
I bought probably 30 of them.
I can't say the same for every single Smoltz, but yeah. So we got the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card in there. Again, every Griffey Jr. sells. Every Biggio sells. And it's got great cards. Nolan Ryan is a pretty striking card. Looks really cool in there. The Bo Jackson is a really neat looking card. The Kirby Bucket, I like the Kirby Bucket. So from visually, I like it. And I like that Billy Ripken, the F face card. So that's my number 5.
Go ahead with your number 4, Mark.
All right, my number 4, look at my list, is 83 Topps. So this was the last set that I really collected before I went on my odyssey of I'm going to be the next rock star, and the baseball cards really didn't mean anything to me until about 30 years later. So I loved 83. 83 Topps. I like the small picture inside. It's reminiscent of the 60s. Was that 63? Not 63.
Yeah, 63.
63. Yeah, so it's almost like a nod to 63. And of course, I have Andre Dawson here, Mr. Beautiful, and his powder blue Expos. And let me take it out so there's no glare, so we can just really see the majesty of that. Look at that. That, people, is why I love Andre Dawson. Every single Expo card. Look at that. I mean, come on, Andre Dawson and the powder blue, the Expos, and there he is. And just look at that inset picture.
Yeah,
so it is. He is just a mythical unicorn in baseball. So I loved 83 Topps. So that, and obviously you got Boggs, you got Sandberg, you got Gwynn rookie cards. So loaded with Hall of Famers, great rookie cards, and just an awesome, awesome card set. So that is my number 4. So
all right, my number 4, Mark, is the unicorn at the time. So I can't 84 Donruss.
Oh, okay.
They really raised the bar with that set. 81. It's honorable mention just for its historical significance, but 82 and 83 looked almost the same to me. There's good rookies in them, which I'll give them that, but so did everybody else. Aesthetically, not so much. 84 Donruss changed the game for that company. Not to mention the perceived scarcity of the cars themselves. I mean, you got Mattingly's rookie, you've got Darryl Strawberry, you've got so many Hall of Famers, Bench and Yaz on a card. Their last issues. Topps dropped the ball with them in 84, I think, but 84 Donruss, just from a look standpoint, and at the time, just a perceived scarcity standpoint, hits me really, really good. And that's my number 4 set for the 80s. So then on to number 3 for me, and I'm kind of echoing what you just said with 83 Topps. 83 Topps is my Boggs. I got it signed. So That's one of my few autos that I have, but I cherish that card. 83 for me, I was 13 and would go to my grandma's every summer. And that summer, it was all about cards for me. And the only ones I could find were 83 tops. Couldn't find the Donruss or the Fleer anywhere in stores. And I collected piles of them. So, you know, the picture in picture is great. The backs are understated, but classic looking. Great rookie crop. The super veteran cards are cool. You know, where you have the card, and then the next card is their super vet, you know, Yaz and Bench, their last regular tops cards. Just a great set, very, very good looking, sharp, simple. And so that's my number 3. My number 3 is 83 tops. What's your number 3, Mark?
Shock, 84 Donruss. And look, there's another. See, there's Andre Dawson. This is a back 8.5. I love it, but there we go.
I'm sensing a theme here with Andre.
You're probably going to see a lot of Andre today. See, you know, it's the 80s. That's my guy. You know, we're celebrating the 80s, and what better way to celebrate it than the man who just looked amazing in that uniform. Every card of his is amazing when he's with the Expos. But I love the 84 Donruss. The Cal Ripken card is amazing. I should have dug that one out just to break up the monotony, but I was just feeling like the Hawk needed to be displayed today. I have a nice graded, I worked for Cal, and I picked up some of his stuff. The 84 Ripken is an awesome looking card, and the Fisk is amazing too. The Carlton Fisk and the 84 Donruss. And again, it gets to the collecting. You know, how much is it worth? It's not the big dollar card, but I like it because it looks cool. And so
Avi Smith and Sandberg look really good too.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 84. I just had it maybe a notch up higher. So where does that leave us? We rocking into my number 2, or?
Yes, sir.
All right, my number 2 is this is the set that you know, I remember really getting with my dad. My dad would take me to this little store in Arcade, New York. I lived in the middle of nowhere and didn't have a neighbor on either side for a mile. And I'd help my dad chop wood and stuff all day. And he would take me to this little corner store and give me baseball cards. And I remember, you know, I could get like 77, 78, 79, but they really didn't flip my lid, you know, light the lamp, so to speak, because they were just meh. I was more into football at that time, being a Gonzo Bills fan. So
Me too.
you know, I was pounding late 70s football cards, and I loved baseball, but the cards weren't really doing it. And then the 80 tops, and Nolan Ryan was my favorite. And I mean, how could you not? I mean, there it is, iconic pitcher, iconic card. Again, worth $5-6, but I mean, nothing says baseball more than that. And the 80 tops is just loaded with, you know, card after card, a great pitcher, great shot. Obviously, the Henderson rookie is an iconic card, but even guys like Manny Trio, I mean, look at them. Take a look at some of those players that are, you know, down the list of fame, and they're just amazing cards. I think Jeff Heath has a good one or something. One of those catchers for the A as well. It's a pretty cool shot. But
Jim Estienne, maybe.
Estienne, remember an Estienne, yeah. And so I liked 80 tops. To you on there,
80,
no, Greg?
80 tops is my number 2 as well. You know, I've got the Ricky. You know, it's not a super high grade. I've had one in my life higher graded than that, but you know, graded whatever. It doesn't really matter. This is really what ushered in.
Card.
Yeah. This is really what ushered in the era of the rookie card. In my opinion, you know, I was 10 years old when 1980 came out, and just really getting into sports. And I was like you, I was more into football and football cards and football everything. And that set is the first one I can really remember collecting hard. And being a 10-year-old, how hard is hard, you know, collecting. But it just hit me. And that Nolan Ryan strikes me too. It's a Blazer card. And, you know, I was thinking yesterday about that card. It's the only card that he's got in his collection that has the All-Star logo on it, which kind of blew my mind. You know, just as good as he was, and you know, you see the AL All-Star on the top there, and that's the only time he ever had that.
Why do you think that is? Do you have any insight on it? You mentioned it before the show. And he made multiple All-Star teams, like, and he's not on any of the tops insert, the glossy ones with the rack packs, and he's not there. You're 100% correct. That's the only one. I just find that fascinating that they put out an all-star card of like Steve Sachs, but they wouldn't put one out of Nolan Ryan. I mean,
Right,
what the
right. He
heck?
Nolan, you know, not to veer off too much, but Nolan
Yeah.
was thought of as a little bit overrated when
Mm,
he was pitching, you know, just because he walked so many people, and you know, he'd have records like 22 and 19,
yeah.
things like that. So I think that might have something to do with it. But looking back at his career and the way that pitchers are now, even it's crazy just what he accomplished. So great set, great card, and that's my number 2. And so
Really
I'm going to
cool.
go to my number 1, and for me, the number 1 is just era. My heyday of collecting, you know, just the aesthetics. It's got to be 1985 Donruss for me. You know, 85
Yeah.
Donruss, black borders, so many good colors. I couldn't find my Eric Davis card, and I looked all over for it without breaking up a set. So that's my favorite card, I think, of that set, is the Eric Davis. I know you've got different ones, so I'm gonna let you talk about those. But you know, just the way it looks, my age at the time, I think that's a great set. That easily is my number 1 for the 80s, and it's not the most valuable, it's not the most anything, but it's the one that speaks to me from a number of different ways. So love 85 Donruss, and I think they knocked it out of the park when they made that card. So
Oh, absolutely.
on to you for number
Well, in
5.
a great shocker,
Number
twist of fate, we didn't consult each other. 85 Donruss. So here we go. Me and Greg, we both, randomly, neither of us discussed what our favorites were. Here we are, 85 Donruss again, consistent beauty, consistent awesomeness, consistent the Hawk, Andre Dawson. And I love these cards in the SGC holders. They just
Yes.
really pop with the black border, even though you got a black holder, but with the touch of the red and everything. I mean, that card just really pops. And I like the background because it looks like ghostly figures in the back, which I could only imagine they were just blown away by Andre and just instantly turned into some type of apparition as the camera was going off. But yeah, check out the background. But I love the 85, and because I'm similar with Greg, um, Donruss, 81, 82, 83, 84 was great, but was kind of limited. So 85 was out there, and it was the second year back to back of a good set. So it showed some consistency. And I like 81 Donruss, but it's a hard condition sensitive. The paper, the card stock is terrible because those cards are just, they're just thin, or they're like, I don't know how to explain it. Almost seem like water damaged or something. Even
Yeah.
if they're not, really might be moisture sensitive, and it's got the white cardboard, and it just wasn't the time yet. So, but those are my,
Yeah.
yeah. So we were pretty similar, and there's
Yeah.
always something on the fringe. I'm glad you had honorable mentions. For me, I like the 87 as well. It's like the Who, you can name all these great Who songs, and this is what it is, people, when you collect. You collect what you like. It's what's it worth is what's it worth to you. So back to my analogy with the Who. Sometimes you stop and you go, oh my God, Sister Disco is an amazing song.
Yeah.
So you think about Won't Get Fooled Again, Bob O'Reilly, all that stuff from the Who, the legendary. And then you're like, yeah, Sister Disco, and that's how it is
Yeah.
with baseball cards. There's always that Sister Disco that pops up and you go, wow, that's really cool. And generally those are the cards you can get cheaper too. So
Right. Right. Absolutely. I agree. And you had mentioned something about wishing that 90 tops could be included in the list.
oh, for
So
the 80s, it's not in the 80s. So,
yeah.
when we come time to do my all-time favorite, that's as strange as it may be. It's not the most valuable. Again, we collect what we like. What are things worth? It's what it's worth to you. And it's also a bit of revisionist history as we get older, because I can tell you when it came out, I didn't like it. I was like, this is garbage. Now,
Yeah.
I see 90 tops, I lose my mind.
I know you do. You love them, but
I go crazy.
this was fun to do and kind of list and kind of, I
Yeah,
really spent a lot of
absolutely.
time thinking about it on my drive yesterday about what I
Mhm.
liked about each set, and what, it even kind of dug deeper into like what my mindset was and where I was in life when those
Oh,
sets came
absolutely.
out, and I think that's what a
Yeah.
lot of folks, I talk with a lot of folks, and that's what they do with sets. They kind of equate them to
Mhm.
a part of their life, and it's, that shaped the way that my list was, and I know it probably did you too.
Oh, definitely,
You
definitely. And a
know,
lot of it's walking it back because, I was all in from like 78 to 83, and then 83 to about 89, I disappeared. And 89 to about 92, I was in. Then I disappeared again for till a couple years ago. So, there's a whole bunch. Like right now, I got that Scott Rowland auction rolling on the 94 and up site. I got a bunch of great Scott Rowland cards and really 96. So, but I didn't buy that. I've got that in a big box of stuff. So, I mean, there's like this whole wasteland or vast emptiness of my collecting experience. But fortunately, nobody wants that stuff anyway. So you try selling a card that's post 93, it's almost impossible. So
yeah, it's tough, and you're right, unless it's a named rookie card, basically. I
yeah.
my dark age period is basically from 92 to about 2018. So I mean,
Right.
I see those cards, and some of those are stuff I've never even seen before. So,
Yeah.
the Ichiro in Pujols, I didn't know that
Mhm.
even existed till 3 years ago.
Right.
So it's been weird trying to catch up, and that's like the dark ages for me too.
Yeah, and that's why I
You
try to
know,
send that stuff to you when I get my tonnage off of Goodwill, and I find something in there I think you like. I try to make sure that you get it because I know that like me, that's just kind of that dark period where we weren't really buying cards, and there is a lot of really cool stuff. It's not worth anything, but again, who cares? That's what it's worth to you. Like
right?
that Yaz, right? The Yaz and the Murphy for you and James. Look, that freaking card's awesome.
Yeah, it is cool. It's like a super refractor. Who knows,
Yeah.
man? But
It's
it
like a
looks great.
dollar, but it's amazing. It's just like, wow, look at this. It's crazy. Yeah. So it's like it was a dollar, but so what? It's incredible. So I
Yeah,
picked up
yeah.
some stuff this morning that was like in
Did
that
you
area on and Richard Salcorca. Yeah, he had a great sale with some lower,
this
cheaper
morning?
stuff. I think it was yesterday. I
Oh,
sent him a
okay.
message. I said, I told you I collect all that weird stuff because he had like the Willie Starsville Trucker hat
Oh,
card,
yeah.
and there was something else, some oddity. The Steve Garvey is it 74, 73, where it's like the ghostly people behind him in the stands. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's
So I grabbed,
74. That's
yeah,
74 Steve
where
Garvey.
it's like, yeah, it looks like a bunch of ghosts. Yeah, I love that card. It was like a dollar. Again, it's not a top dollar, but I love that stuff. I collect the oddities and the weird. So, yeah, hey, big shout out to J.R. McKissick. I promised him me and Greg, we have our sales. We inevitably end up with a while in the room sometimes, and we love this guy was a super while. He just went crazy on one of my sales, and I can honestly say that I've never had to ship like 147 cards somewhere. So that was really cool. So, JR, we really appreciate you. Do you have any buyers or sellers to shout out this week, Greg?
I've got a couple.
Yeah.
Brian Wellman, similar situation. One in my sale that I've actually got part two coming up later today, but
Mm.
um, he didn't give anybody else a chance. He told me one of the messages was he felt like he was in a mall where
Uh,
everything was on sale and he was the only shopper. And I was like, all right, well, that's
it
cool.
happens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was nice to hear. But Brian's been good. God, there's so many, Mark.
I don't know. I'm putting you
Richard
on the
sent me a
spot.
really cool Rod Carew yesterday, 72 Rod Carew, and he gave me the
I
last set I
saw
needed for
that.
73 tops, the Hank Aaron total bases card. So, those are two off the top of my head, but I mean, we'll have
Yeah.
to do another show where we
Oh,
where we
absolutely.
where we talk about the
Right
good the
on.
good guys.
Again. Yeah,
You know,
just we've been missing for a while, just kind of catching up.
yeah.
So, JR,
We'll be
yeah, he
back to
sent me a
regularly
note.
scheduled programming, I think, going
Yeah,
forward.
JR sent me a message. Hey, I'm really sorry about that. I said, well, I mean, I'm not gonna. Don't be sorry. He's
Why?
like, I bought it.
Yeah,
I bought everything. I feel bad. I'm like, well, it's the way it goes. I got another 4,000 count boxes. We can have another sale. So, but
right,
that
right.
was really cool. Oh yeah, Billy Stillwell. He's another good dude that I've met recently. He's usually on the 94 and up. And yeah, everybody, Greg's got his sale going on the vintage fire sales at the 93 down. And I have a little auction going for the rolling cards on the 94 and up, which is going to end up being a 0, but that's okay. And then a shout out to Andy Markle, friend of ours. He's been having some stuff going on in his world. So I just want Andy to know that I'm thinking of him and hoping that things get better from him. So if anybody in our group or listens to the show, you're a prayer person or something, put Andy in there for you. He could use them. So that about it. What else we got? That we're gonna wrap it up, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, this has been fun. It was fun going through these sets and kind of reminiscing a little bit and pulling cards and but yeah, we'll do another show maybe Wednesday or Thursday and be back with episode 5.
Wednesday. So Wednesday is good. Yeah, we just wanted to get something out there because we've been and again, everybody that's been sending Greg and myself messages like, where the heck are you guys? Much love. We really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll leave you with my favorite 80s movie. It is called Pope of Greenwich Village with Eric Roberts and Mickey Rourke. The great Mickey Rourke. There was a run of movies, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke had kind of like that Mattingly period of greatness, and then it just went away. But he was my favorite. He was just, oh my God, Rumblefish and Diner, the Pope of Greenwich Village and Angel Heart, and I guess on and on and on. He had about 6 or 7. Prayer for the Dying. And then it just went sideways. I think it was Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man and taking off and going doing boxing and adios, Mickey Rourke. You got a quick 80s movie off the top of your head, or not to put you on the spot? Or
well, 80s movie, huh? Probably. Oh, geez, Mark.
Did you?
The Goonies.
Goonies, classic, 83, right? That's amazing. There you go. That's why you're the man. That puts you on the spot. And I'm not going to ask you about your favorite song. So,
favorite song, probably.
Yeah, the 80s. All right, keep rolling a little bit.
Yeah, I'd have to. We'll do that on another show.
Well, I'm a rock and roller, so mine is "Look What the Cat Dragged In" by Poison. You knew that was coming, right? Oh my God!
I hope you're kidding.
No, I'm not. So I like it. It's peppy and it's fun. So,
is that right? Isn't that the name of the album though?
That's the name of the album. Yeah, it's kind of listen to the words, you'll get it.
Okay.
Ford. Yeah, that's Ford right there. But that's a great album. Yeah, Look What the Cat Dragged In. So that's a good one. Though you got to look past all the crazy makeup and the clothes and all that. They were okay. Well, all right, Greg, as always, thanks for joining me today. We should be back on Wednesday. This was a lot of fun. And all I got to say is, everybody, thank you. Let's be better. And I am out. Peace.
Have a good Sunday, everybody. Championship Sunday. What's your prediction for the games today, Mark?
I hope that whoever loses, it haunts them for the rest of their lives, and there's a lot of pain and suffering, emotionally, not physical. Just it takes you a while to get over it, because I just could care less after the Bills season. I said it all year. We weren't going to do it. It just was too much and too many things.
You did. Well, my team here never makes it far enough for me to not care. So
okay, so then we can cheer for somebody losing on a Hail Mary.
49ers and Chiefs are my pick.
I like it. Having sat through the snow and watching Cincinnati, I'm not really overly impressed with them. I mean, I'm not. So I think Kansas City's gonna take them apart, and I hope it's painful. I just hope it haunts them. So and whoever loses today, just chew on it for a few days, but then get over it and move on and be happy, and God bless. So everybody love everybody. Okay, all right, everybody. We'll see you hopefully on Wednesday or Thursday. Thanks again, Greg. Love you, man. Okay, we're out. Mark.